where when a hero is making as much of an impact as he is, for it to go through a draft and not be picked or banned, it just kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit and say, why aren't these teams focusing this hero? That's why it's kind of, like you mentioned, very surprising that none of those heroes have 100% draft usage, because it means at some point both teams were just like, no, Celeste isn't that important. We don't need to have her. So the fact that you see these top heroes in the draft, even if it's in a banned position, is just it's good to see across the board.
He's so slippery and can be used in so many different ways in these team fights, whether it's going in, being a distraction, getting back out. So much burst damage. There's no mage that is safe on these back lines in order to be going for them.
All right, well, we are now ready to get into the game. We're going to send it over to Stress and Dowsy to call the action.
This is the matchup of the day. Rising Lotus taking on Qlash here in the European VPL Preseason Invitational. Yesterday we saw a revitalized Rising Lotus roster really take the punches to Team Queso, and against Qlash they're going to be looking to do the same. Doom's also caught out. This might just be first blood early. He is going very low. Oh no, Solicitude. Ooh, that was close. All right, Stress, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I very quickly had to jump to I'm the Doom. I wasn't expecting that in mid lane, and neither were Solicitude and Sneaky by the looks of it. Couldn't quite convert it into a kill, but look, I think this one, considering how Qlash's last few games have gone, I think this one is going to be a bloodbath once again, because look, Qlash, they've been playing very well, but also very loose, very quick, trying to look for those skirmishes again and again, and it's happening all across the map. There's at least 2 little fights over the weapon treants for now. Kiana and Okoa getting forced away from theirs on the bottom side.
Whoop, that's going to be secure, but first blood coming over to I Am the Doom. He's able to take Sneaky out on the bottom side of the map. Kiana and Okoa is able to secure the weapon treant for Rising Lotus. So it is going to be kill and objectives traded here. I say objectives traded. It's secured, really, when you look at it from the point of view of Rising Lotus.
Yeah, secured for Rising Lotus. It looked like Sneaky, I don't think he went under the tower, but I saw the tail end of that. He was chasing down I'm the Doom once again, trying to pick up that kill, that tasty kill on about 10 health, but couldn't end up doing it. And Rising Lotus dropped the first kill in that mid lane, and now we have to see where the game transitions from. The desk talked a lot about these hero picks. We've got Sneaky going the weapon Tony at the moment. We've got the Celeste on the side. We've got the Lyra. Lots of these strong picks finding Rising Lotus. I want to see what they can do with them up against a team as strong as Qlash.
I mean, last time these teams faced off, it was Team Qlash taking a victory in just 13 minutes over Rising Lotus. But this team is solidified with, new members coming onto the team, Sneaky and Cracks joining up. This is a roster that really could be feared as a third or even second place contender. Really, I think this matchup against Qlash will decide whether or not Rising Lotus can contest that second place spot. At the moment, Qlash seem a little bit more disciplined is what I want to say. There's been some strong criticism from myself particularly that their games seem to be getting scrappier and scrappier. However, when you're at the top, maybe you try to do more things. This is the Preseason Invitational after all. You're trying to test things out, and when the games become more important, that's when you start to really bring the big guns.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm trying not to be too overly harsh on Qlash, but this now is a 4 versus 2 in the bottom side. There's a stun.
And Kara's just completely caught out. A 4-man gank into the bot side to find a kill for themselves. Coral in that bot side or top side as he would be playing it for Qlash. With Agony back on the roster, it means that he's in the jungle, and Coral transitions to the lane.
So that play from Rising Lotus was well timed. They managed to come down through their own jungle, and they were catching the end of a ward from Leon and the rest of Qlash down in the bottom side. Leon was moving out to ward back up, and just the unfortunate timing from Qlash's side means they end up getting caught in a 4 versus 2. But now it's Qlash trying to clutch out Rising Lotus here on the top side.
Yeah, this is going to be Solicitude completely caught out. He used his core collapse on the camp, trying to secure it, and really that is a fairly decent mistake. You want to be saving that CC for the fight. Cracks does move in to help out Nomad, jumps out immediately. Nomad is in a lot of trouble, taking so much damage from I'm the Doom. It looks like Qlash are done with that fight. They're going to roam into the jungle and see if there's any pickings they can take.
Yeah, at this point it's once again reestablished on those scout cams, which is easier to do than say apparently at this point, because Qlash at this point, they've got a good lead. They're going to move in for the Crystal Treant once again. Qlash, they do this so well. They move in as a unit, look for these objectives, and then just move back away, see if they can get a kill. But it's not always about the kills. You know, you've got to transition between objectives.
A lot of damage coming out onto Solicitude here. You know, for those who may not know who Solicitude is, a player formerly known as Zoom, actually about 8 months ago was saying to I'm the Doom, I want to get good enough to become a pro player in Europe, and here he is facing off in the mid lane against his hero Doom. I'm the Doom's in a bit of trouble here, taking so much poke from Qlash, but look at the amount of damage he's popping back out. Those Malice and Verdict's just doing so much work. He only has a crystal bit, a heavy prism I should say. It's not like he's got items stacked up. Agni's moving into the lane here. He's got level 6 as well. Ultimate's ready to go. He might be needed to use it. Going super low as Qlash throws that chakram out. Leon, everyone chained up. Sneaky coming around the backside, but I don't think Rising Lotus are in a position to fight realistically. Their damage deal is just chunked out a little bit too much.
If I'm remembering correctly, Leon played this Churnwalker back in week 2 or 3 and looked really strong on it. Like it looked like the chains were basically point and click abilities at that point. And you know, it's an interesting hero for him if he can control it. We're seeing a lot of fighting once again around the map. I want to see whether Leon can have the same kind of performance here on this Churnwalker. See if he can actually set up the fights quite as effectively here, because it doesn't look like Rising Lotus are giving them as many skirmishes as we've seen before, and that's something I like out of Rising Lotus.
Yeah, no, for sure. Right now, it feels like Rising Lotus are doing their job of just trying to keep the rivers in vision and just really respecting the roams that Qlash can pull out in just a heartbeat. Sneaky, though, in the top side, in a bit of trouble. Takes a bit of poke for himself. Looks like it is going to be Krax also trying his best to stop this Ghost Wing from happening. A Solar Storm rips through, but it's far too late. Nomad could look for the steal with the Sigil. Gonna pop it over the wall. Going low. He steals it! Nomad, you're a god!
It was yesterday that Rising Lotus stole 2 Ghost Wings during the game as well. They are making a habit about this.
Nomad able to block up an Oblivion, and that Series Strike coming out of Qlash, just really rubbing salt in the wound. The weapon Treant gets stolen for Solicitude here. Potentially probably should have gone to Qlash, but Qlash, they seem a little bit lost after that Ghost Wing still. They don't know how to make of it. Sneaky, gonna move in, stuns up Agni, looking for the taunt. It comes out, Agni pulled back in, and the ultimate was not popped. He will be rebooting, however, and should be able to escape, you feel. Not enough CC to keep Agni locked up.
And it's now back and forth in an even gold game between these two. And Rising Lotus, they had been looking pretty shaky a few weeks back. Now they, with this updated roster, have taken a very hard game to both top of the table teams. Now there's another fight.
This time Solicitude will just fall down. Nomad Vagabond will be left to try and escape, but without a portal it's going to be difficult. There's Sigil for the speed. Looks like he is going to go very low, but able to escape, and now Krax, he is spinning to win on 3 people, but not going to commit to that fight too much. It doesn't quite have the Serpent's Mask or Breaking Point really at all to be able to take that one.
Yeah, not yet. Needs a little extra time on that. And here comes the follow-up push into the mid lane from Qlash. Going to clear the minions out, move back down towards that bottom side, secure their orbs for themselves, and kind of reset this game. That, I think, was a very key exchange for Qlash. I was starting to feel like they didn't really know the next step of the game, and that skirmish could very well pay off. But look, they're still unhealthy from taking that last fight.
Yeah, Crucible to block up the Oblivion. I'm the Doom, so healthy and got so much damage to his name. Got that Spellfire to tick the damage through. Agony to tank the turret up, but Qlash are going to start falling back. Sneaky, at this point, just proxing the lane. And oh my god, Nomad! Just portals him the Doom under the turret, but no one was ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. And it looks like Nomad will not be able to get the juicy kill that he was looking for there. Those plays are so spicy when they come out. Just a shame that Solicitude couldn't follow it up. And now looks like Qlash going to take this mid lane turret, take Nomad's life, and continue their lead.
Yeah, important there that Qlash are able to crack that turret. It lets them now transition between lanes very effectively. Leon is going to find Krax, but at this point, Carl not quite in position. Will get that pullback, though. Maybe they're going to actually go for this fight. Agony's roaming down as well.
Yeah, Krax does not have the breaking point to stack up. That ultimate comes out, but it's far too late to heal him up. And that is going to be Krax caught out completely. 5-1, and Qlash far more consistent in their play, really being disciplined where they roam and what fights they're taking here, Stress.
Yeah, I think maybe yesterday's game was a bit of a shock to the system in kind of how scrappy and close at times it was. So maybe Qlash coming back and saying, "Hey, okay, let's calm it down just a little bit."
No, man, no.
I saw it come out and I was like, "Uh-oh, is he done it again?" And not quite, but certainly this is cleaner out of Qlash. I'm kind of happier watching this game where they're transitioning very well.
The thing is, Qlash have that information from the game yesterday with Team Queso versus Rising Lotus to really show the respect to the Rising Lotus squad and try and shut down any attempts they make to take a lead out here. So Qlash playing from ahead. Rising Lotus yesterday were playing from ahead against Queso, but now they're defending. And this is a big turret push coming out on the bot side. Will go down that tier 2 and tier 1. In the mid lane, they're able to find a turret here, Rising Lotus, but I'm not sure they can find any more. Krax will fall under his tier 3. That armory turret now going to be under fire. This Ghost Wing buff so strong. And Sneaky's continuing to push up in the top side. Doesn't look like Rising Lotus want to defend this at all. They are just going to allow armory turrets to fall, armories to fall as well. Keanu and Koa can't hold this with Nomad. And that's going to be a 3 objective push. Nomad trying to start the fight, but here comes Leon to solidify them. Solicitude's too far gone to be able to get into this one, and I'm the Doom just takes Keanu Koa's life. It is going to be Qlash retreating out of the base now. They've done the damage. Sneaky able to find that tier 2 in the top side, but it just doesn't feel worth it at that point, Stress.
So I'm going to give I'm the Doom the credit here on this one, using the portal twice during that fight to actually avoid a lot of damage.
Goodness.
Despite the fact it was putting himself back in the enemy base even further. So, you know, good utilization of even the enemy abilities to kind of jump around the fight, keep himself alive, and that's what allows Qlash to kind of move through the base, get that armory, and now retreat back out, look to reset. Top outer tower is still alive. That is likely to be the next point for them because there's no global objectives up yet. We're 30 seconds away just under from that Black Claw, so open up the damage top side.
Oh my god, Solicitude! I can't see him, he got deleted! Qlash just completely destroyed that Celeste, and right now Solicitude is struggling up against Qlash's roster. 0 and 3 at this point, really the one that Qlash are focusing in on. Sneaky going to get stunned up under his outer turret. Agony comes in. It is going to be a crucible to block that taunt up. Sneaky, can he escape? No ultimate to split the damage, and no, he will just fall. Qlash find another kill for themselves. This outer turret, not long for this world, you have to feel.
Yeah, now they're even turning attention onto the Black Claw to try and take that down. You can see just pushing out the top side to keep Krax and Nomad Vagabond up there. Leon's even going to go for it himself, put himself in harm's way just to ensure there's enough space around the Black Claw that they're able to take it down. Askin looking at Solicitude, seeing if he could get in range at the time, but that is the Black Claw going over to Qlash, and Qlash in full control of this game. This is perhaps the best they have looked since week 1.
Yeah, this is actually really strong play coming out of Qlash here. Respect shown to Rising Lotus. They've got their full man roster here, something that they did not have in their matchup against Queso, and oh, Sneaky is just completely caught, will fall down. Netalet diving onto Solicitude, finds the kill. It is going to be Krax jumping away from the fight, and Nomad left in no man's land. Black Claw onto this armory turret in the mid lane. Nomad in trouble as he portals away, but just provides way onto both Keanu and himself. Nomad goes down. Keanu on the Sanctuary trying to heal up, but he's only half healthy. Armory will fall here at the 13-minute mark, and Qlash continue their dominance. It is going to be Keanu going low. Krax trying to spin to win, gets pulled back and will fall. Agony in the Sanctuary, maybe not where he wants to be, but Sneaky gives him a helping hand. And at 13.5 minutes, Qlash show why they are so strong in Europe, reminding us all that they are a contender here, taking down Rising Lotus in true dominance style.
1 kill goes over to Rising Lotus that game, and that was so much cleaner from Qlash, considering that's a lot of the criticism we've had for them is that it's been sloppy. Absolutely not today. Rising Lotus put up a good fight in the early game, but Qlash just dominate the rest of the game.
Absolutely great stuff out of Qlash to see them back on top, and their macro game looked clean. Let's hear what Tasty Bacon and Flash make of that.
With that win, Qlash